Hi, I'm Susanna Bowling, and this is live from the Hotel Edison. Times Square Chronicles presents Zoom Style. Today, our guest is somebody that you'll know her last name, but it's really about her story. And today, we're with Nicole Travolta. Nicole,
Hi,
hi, how are you? So,
I'm good.
you're bringing back a solo show at the Soho Playhouse, right?
I am. So I did a limited run here in 2024 at Soho Playhouse. I was here for 8 shows, which at the time felt like the biggest thing. And then now coming back here, I'm like, oh no, wait, this is very much even bigger. And I'm so excited, but it's a dream. I've been working so hard to get this back. And I love the Soho Playhouse. They're like a family and they're just amazing. So it feels crazy, but also pinch me.
Let's talk about this show because it's called Doing All Right, and you get personal in this show. You talk about credit card debt,
Yep.
you talk about compulsive shopping.
Yep.
What else do you talk about?
I talk about marriage, divorce, familial trauma. It all sort of really kind of coincides with it. I think for me, what I've really learned about doing the show, I remember when I first started it in 2023, I was so nervous because it's not really talked about, I think, amongst us that much. And when I started doing it, and what resonated with me so much was especially women in the audience after going, we have been through something like this. Thank you so much for talking about this. This really, made us feel more normal, because so many people have these issues. But it's really about, the price you pay when you create a different life for yourself. And what really it's about is your self-worth. And if you strip all of that away, am I enough just standing as Nicole, not with the bags, not with the credit cards, not with the car, not with anything. It's coming into me. And the show has really taken me on a ride. It's cathartic, and there's times where I'm like, I can't believe I'm doing this so many times over and over because it's reliving it. But there's something so special about the connection that you have to the audience. And if it maybe isn't in the shopping sense, or that it's an addiction from another thing that someone else had, there's a relatability of that feeling.
Mhm. I, as a journalist, I have to ask this question,
Yes.
though I'm actually, what's the word? I don't really want to, but no, because I don't think it's fair. But can you talk about being the niece of John Travolta and growing up in that family and what that meant to you and how it's affected you?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I mean, I will say I don't think that I think you can absolutely ask that question. And I come from an amazing family. Um, I will say that I think it comes with, there's a there's a projection, not from within the family, but from other people. I'm his niece. Yeah, and I think that he's my uncle, and he's the most amazing, talented human being, and my whole family is so talented and so wonderful, and we've really supported each other. It's to be the best versions of ourselves. And but I do think I will say that you do carry a weight with the name. People expect you to have lived a certain life, and that just because of the name that you should be a certain kind of person, and that's not always true. It's more often than not true. It's and he's my uncle. It's I say in my show, I'm like, everyone's get so hung up on this Nepo baby stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
Nepo niece and Nepo baby, two different things.
So that's why I was remiss to ask the question because I'm sure it's a question you get asked all the time.
Yes.
And I, unfortunately, as a journalist, of course you have to ask the question. Um, but I don't think it's fair.
Well,
And
thank you for saying that.
welcome. But if I'm not mistaken, didn't your grandmother start you all into performing?
She did. Yes. I mean, so it's interesting. I really, the entertainment industry is all I've ever known from my mom's side and my dad's side. My mom's side was all in the production side. My mom's uncle was Paul, his name is Paul Hager. He was the senior vice president at Paramount Studios of Motion Picture. Ugh, I think.
Right. Yeah.
I think that's the right title. And my uncle Rick is an editor, was an editor at Paramount. Like my mom really kind of grew up in the bones of the industry, whereas my dad's side, they were all actors, you know? So, but my grandmother, who I unfortunately never met, was, yeah, she was an actor, and my Aunt Ellen is an actor. They're all of them, they all got their footing. And then, of course, my uncle really skyrocketed, but everyone in their own right is so successful and so incredibly talented. Such a talented
So
group of
basically,
people.
you followed in the family business.
Yes, I did. I mean, it's kind of all I knew. I mean, to be quite honest with you, my parents were like, why do you want to do this? And then it never went away. And then sometimes I am like, why did I want to do this? But now I'm not, there's no turning back.
How did you first get started?
So I started when I was a kid. My mom would take me to things. I did some modeling here and there, and then they really kind of made me wait until I was old enough to sort of make my own decisions and go to auditions and all that. And so my very first television role was on One Tree Hill.
Oh, nice.
And that got me my SAG card. And then I went from there. It was a lot of ups and downs. Then I found my voice in comedy, which was what kind of changed the trajectory for me. And I then it went from there, and I started booking sitcoms and on like Two and a Half Men and The Middle, and I was on Anger Management with Charlie Sheen for a bit, and that kind of then brought me into the next phase of my life, which was then doing this, and everything sort of changing and moving and hitting a very low point, and then bringing it all on stage, which I never ever in a million years thought that I would be doing this. But I think that's the beauty of the industry, just staying open and letting it sort of drive you in different ways. And this for me is one of the hardest things I've ever done for a plethora of reasons, but it's also the most rewarding because I worked so hard at it and it's mine.
What would you like to see people take away from your show?
Gosh, we're human. We make mistakes. We life is long. We gotta like life is long. You can reinvent yourself. You can do all these different things, but if you're not dealing with the things from within, all those problems will continue to follow you.
That's so true. People tend to think that, oh, I can get away with this, I can get away with that. But in the end, it all comes full circle.
100%. And I think that that's the thing is that it's really just for me it's always about the openness and the honesty and the vulnerability with the audience. It's like you don't have to say every little detail of your life, but it's that connection to know that there's so many ways that people push things down and the facade and you're living this sort of extravagant life by way of plastic. And it got me into a lot of trouble, a lot of also emotionally a lot of trouble. I had to sort of go, what have I done and what am I doing? And why is this something that I'm so attached to? Those things meant so much to me, so,
Mm.
so much to me. I think just knowing that you're enough, we are all enough. That I think would be probably my biggest takeaway, and that we're not alone. That's the other thing is that again, I think the most amazing thing is the audience and knowing that there can be that connection and that human interaction of like, oh my gosh, I've been through something like this or similar. And I think just knowing that we're all, one big human heart, if you will.
No, it sounds like even though you went through a lot, you learned. Most,
Yeah.
sorry,
No, it's okay.
no, I have allergies. Most people don't learn.
No, no, no,
And
no.
it sounds like you did.
Yeah, and I think every day is like I don't want to say I'm like I don't want to sound cliche, but it's true that every day is you got to work at it, right? It's working at yourself. What are the things that you could do? It doesn't just go away. These things had just because that one thing, certain things continue to play out in my life in ways that now that I've, learned and you're more in touch with yourself, I'm not, young and just flinging things all around and trying to make things work. But this self-love issue has played out in other areas of my life, in relationships, in business relationships, in working relationships. It doesn't just go away. So to me, it's really about that. It's that finding, okay, what is the thing that's triggering all of these things and then continuing to move through it, but never perfect. Just maybe not shopping, I'm not heading to Neiman Marcus every time there's a problem.
No, you should head online and like, this is what I'd like to buy.
Yes, no, exactly. I listen, I love a designer bag, but I can walk past the store now. So like it's okay, It doesn't mean I don't like any of this stuff. It's just it's not completing me.
Hmm. Did it ever completely? Did it
No.
ever complete you?
No, I think in my head it did. In my head it made it everything. Um, in my head it made everything feel like it was going to be okay. And I really believed that. The delusion, that if I have this, 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 and this, I'm going to be okay. It was anything but.
I think society brainwashes us and
Yes.
manipulates us into thinking that.
Yes. Yes. And I'm very sensitive about, and not sensitive, well, I don't know if sensitive is the right word, but I feel very protective of, I do feel protective of my family and my name and all these things. And that, but I will say that growing up, when we moved to Florida and a lot of like the kids would be like, oh, what did you come? You flew on a private jet? And it was confusing because we were going through a lot of this. So you start to think like, well, is that what I'm supposed to do? Is that what and you start building this sort of almost like it's like you're building your Barbie dream house. This is how I'm gonna do it. This is how I'm gonna live it. But you can't afford to do so. You get yourself in, like I said, a lot of trouble. And we're brainwashed by like I was fully the 10% off girl. If I walked into Macy's, let's just use Macy's, and they said, would you like to apply for a credit card today? You'll save 10% off, which is really, if you think about it, $30 if you spend $300. And I was like, yes, I'm so excited about that.
Like, ooh, I have a new credit card and ooh, 10%. Yeah.
10%. You get 10% off and at 26% interest. My God, I am thriving.
See, I'm so completely the opposite because I love thrift stores and
Uh-huh.
I love finding vintage Chanel and vintage Norma Kamali,
Ah.
Kahari, and knowing that I got that for like 30, 40 bucks.
Oh, Susanna, wait a second. You have to teach, but now I'm like, okay,
Oh,
well,
I'm
maybe
great at
we're
that.
back and got to teach me.
Oh, I'm serious. I'm great at it. I have a Hermes dress that I got for, I think, $15.
Okay, Susanna, see, this is what I'm saying. If I had you
I
in
get
my
more thrilled at
corner,
that. I
I
get more thrilled at that.
I love this about this is I want to tell you this I was in New York earlier this year and I had a Zara gift card that I had gotten for my birthday. Love Zara. But this is still the back of my brain. This is why. I go into Zara, it's the sale is like there's so many things on sale. The sale racks are a mess, whatever. And I'm so overstimulated in this place. I literally was like, I can't wait for this store to not be on sale anymore. Like I will pay full price just for it to go back to normal. Like that I had no joy. So I just left.
I know I would. That honestly, those kind of things overwhelm me. I
Yes.
can't. I like it better when I'm like the only person in the store and I get to play. And
Yes, totally. You get it. You get it. But I love this. My aunt and my cousin are also really, really good at that stuff. I just didn't get that thing.
just had a birthday, and
Happy birthday.
my friend Prince Max took me to TJ Maxx and said, let's get you something. Let's get you something that you want." And I found a Tahari sweater, and it was, I guess, the only one. And I'm like, and it was cashmere and it had jewels on it. I was like, okay, it's mine.
This is great. I love it. That's a great birthday.
And
That's
I
a
was
great
like,
birthday. So solid birthday.
but the better part of it was I didn't realize it was Tahari until I got home. I just liked the sweater.
It's just perfect. That's
When
great
I found
though.
it was Tahari, I was like, yes, my
You're
favorite.
like, it feels good. I mean, listen, there is a serotonin release
Yeah.
that happens from it that's unmatched. It's unmatched. I mean, I'm sure that other people would disagree that there's probably drugs that, do, but when you can go in there and do
Hey,
some damage, it's like it feels good. And it's like, or when you notice that it was your favorite brand and you're like, oh my God, it's the best feeling.
well, have you ever seen Legally Blonde, the musical?
I have not seen the musical.
Oh, it's on YouTube. You can watch it on YouTube.
Okay.
But there's a song in it when she is dressing. Oh my God, I can't even remember the guy's name. The lawyer guy that's like Schleppy. And she brings him in and she dresses him up. And you're in all the stores and you're smelling the perfume and they're saying the names and they're talking about what a high it is to do this.
Yes, it feels it's I I was so, when I first started doing this, I was so nervous because I was afraid. This is like the fear in you that goes, oh, people are just going to think, oh, you're just a spoiled brat, like you're just erratically, but it really does. It is the most, it was so fulfilling to me that anytime, and this comes from generations before, and that material things equated to love. If things were bad, you went, and I'm trying not to like give it all away in
Or if
hopes
your
that people
parents
will
do
come and
something,
see it. But
or if your parents do something bad, oh, here's a gift.
that yes, it's the keeping you happy. And that was a very prominent thing in my life. So there's a lot of things where there's a stability issue where I've always sort of felt, I can't- standing on my own 2 feet. My life has sort of been like this. And that was how I felt. That was my equation to stable. It was like I had, uh, I don't even know. At one point, I was like 13. I had a card to every store. I treated them like they were like coupons.
Wait, how young did you start?
18, right when I turned 18.
Wow.
The
Do you
second.
do you have siblings?
I have half brothers.
Hmm.
Yeah, but from my mom and my dad, it's just me, and then they both have from previous marriage, they're all older than me. But yeah, so I was the only
I
girl.
was gonna say I have siblings, or yeah, and because even though I was the oldest, I was actually put in the middle.
Yeah.
So I was the one that was ignored and the one that was like, and yeah, unfortunately, things were supposed to be something that meant a great deal.
Yeah.
Reason they mean something, but it's not the be all end all for me.
No, you learn you really learn that, it becomes now it's so much more about, your relationships and your experiences and the stuff. Again, I'm not gonna say, someone once asked me, they're like, so you don't like anything anymore? I'm like, no, of course I do. Of course I do, but I
You're
have a different perspective on it. But like I said, the idea that this is that whole thing, it's a deeper, much deeper issue.
Mhm.
So it just played out in different ways. So then when you really are like, oh my God, this is coming at me now in the form of a relationship or dating, how I'm coming, it's just,
It
it's a
infiltrates every aspect of your life.
totally, yes, exactly. Exactly.
Where would you like to see your career go? Like what do you really want to do? What's up? Where do you see your trajectory going?
My dream is to adapt this into a series. My dream would be to adapt this into a series. I've really loved sitting in the position of making this all happen and really, um, just feels like to take a story. I mean, I know it's my story, but as a woman, sort of allowing myself to elevate my own voice. I'd
Mm.
love to be a part of other stories, women's stories like this. And I also have, so television is my love, but I really love being on this stage. I really do. I really love that like instant connection and I have a lot of energy, so it it feels very fulfilling and I'd like to just keep creating this way, but with the hopes that it expands into something that I can adapt into television and also create things with other women that have stories that have been untold. So,
Had you done any theater before this?
I proudly, very proudly, in school was Miss Hannigan and Annie. Um, but just more, I trained at the Groundlings in Los Angeles and also the Citizens Brigade. Um, so I did a lot of stage sketch work, things like that. And my show actually opened at the Groundlings in
With
2023.
major comedy.
Yes. So, um, I've done a lot of things like that, but no, I've not done a ton of theater, but it's so, and I love everyone in New York I love New York so much, and people in New York, like my family is from the East Coast, or my dad's side is from the East Coast, and people are real people. When they say they're like, we're coming to the show, they come. LA is like flighty. I'm from there, I can say this.
I'm actually from LA.
So
And
you get it. You
I
get
have
it.
I have an analogy for it actually.
Can you
In
say it?
yeah, in LA, you write yourself a list of 10 things to do. If you accomplish one, it has been a great day. You pat yourself on the back and lay out by the pool. In New York, you write yourself a list of 10 things to do. If you haven't accomplished all 10 plus one more, you're a failure. And I have to admit that when I came from LA and I came to New York, in LA I never felt at home. In New York, I completely did, except that my very first day here, my feet were killing me, so I took off my shoes and walked barefoot, and people looked at me like
Oh
I
my
was
God.
nuts.
I love this so much. Good for you. Good for you. Your analogy, spot on. Spot on. Also, no one, the other thing that I think is so funny about LA is when you want to meet someone in New York, people are like, okay, let's go get drinks or dinner on tomorrow at 6 p.m. In LA, we're like, all right, so let's look at April 15th, tentatively 5 p.m., but I'll get back to you and then you calendar it and then you cancel and then like, that's the thing, you know? And if you live in, if you live Santa Monica to Los Feliz, forget it. You're not friends anymore. You absolutely can't date. You can't date. You got it's really important that you're like within that certain mile
Oh,
radius,
this is so true.
you know?
So true. Because when I lived there, I was born in Pasadena. And then I lived in Hollywood. Then I lived in San Jose. I lived in Thousand Oaks. I lived,
Oh,
yeah, I lived in Huntington Beach, Laguna Beach. I'm telling you. And
you've lived everywhere.
I did, but I didn't see any of it as where I couldn't go. I lived in San Francisco, but my idea of going and having a good day was driving to Solvang and having
Oh, I
pastry.
love solving. You're like my dad. You would be like my dad. That's my dad. You and my dad would be best friends. That's his ideal day. We love solving. We love going to solving. We used to go, and he loves
Wait, do you
the
go to
casino,
Anderson's?
the
Do you go to
casino up there.
Anderson's first?
The what?
Do you go to Anderson's first for split pea?
Oh, yes, yes, yes. He loves, but I'm not a split pea soup person, but he loves split pea. The Danishes were a very big Danish family. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's his big thing. Like coffee cakes, almond croissant, like all that stuff. Kringles, the Kringles.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's his favorite thing. So yeah, that was his, and he lived in Thousand Oaks. So that's why I was like, oh my God, and my mom, right, moved to Orange County. So she's not far from Laguna.
Done both.
Yeah, you've been to both.
Yeah, but I couldn't wait to get to New York, actually. In California, I talked too fast, I walked too fast, I did everything too fast. In
Yeah.
New York, I got here and I was normal. And I
Yeah,
was like,
you feel a bit here. Here I feel interestingly enough on my feet planted. I said I've spent a lot of time with the stability thing. Here I feel much more planted. So I think that that's a hopefully a good sign.
no, I think it is. Magda, do you have any questions?
Are you musical at all? Do you sing or dance, or it's mainly drama
It's
or
comedy,
comedy?
mainly
Comedy,
comedy. Yeah, mainly comedy.
right? And I really admire you for doing a one woman show. I mean, that's
Thanks,
great. I mean,
Magda.
all kudos to you. I
Thank
think of
you.
all the forms that's one of the hardest, and you're challenging, and I'm sure you're fantastic. I can't wait to see you.
I really hope that
I
you
want
both
to
come.
come.
I would absolutely love to have you, and I hope that when you do come, I would love to say hello and extend a hug in the after the show if you got. I'm very
Definitely,
grateful for
definitely.
you having me and and musically, I mean, sure, singing, I'll sing. I'll sing and I'll move my hips a little bit, but
Well,
maybe
that's
not up front, but I could do anything. We can all do hard things.
well, you're beautiful and you're
Thank you.
talented, so we're looking forward to seeing you.
I am so glad we had you today, actually, because now that I think about it, it's International Women's Month, and this turned out to be a perfect show for that. I am so grateful to my guest, Nicole Travolta. Um, Nicole, plug your show before we end.
Oh, Susanna, thank you for having me. It's inspiring to be with women, and women are amazing. I love women. But my show is called Nicole Travolta is Doing All Right. It opens at the Soho Playhouse on April 1st, 5 nights a week, and is running until May 10th, 6 weeks. Please come tell your friends. And we have a show account at Doing All Right Show on Instagram, and also my handle is at Nicole Travolta. So that's all the info.
Thank you.
All right.
This has been Susanna Bowling, live from the Hotel Edison. Times Square Chronicles presents Zoom Style.